small chance of success. What are we waiting for?
Fellas, I feel this is my lucky day.
Brilliant.
Hey, and welcome to another episode of Rank 'em here for a fun one. Today we're just going to be ranking Edgar Wright movies, and it should be a lot of fun. We've got a bunch of great people here over here. I've got Kiri. Kiri, how's it going?
Going good, thanks. How are you?
Good. And we've also got Chad here because obviously we can't do an Edgar Wright ranking without Chad. Chad, how's it going?
That's right. And I say, leave a light on, good lady, for though we may return with a twinkle in our eyes, we will be in truth blind, drunk. How's that for a slice of fried gold? Let's get this.
Oh, you got
on the road.
and everything. Nice.
And next up we've got Jordan. Jordan, how's it going?
Going good. We're doing this for the greater good, if you know the reference. But Edgar Wright to me doesn't have a bad movie, so this is going to be hard. So I'm ready for this.
And last but not least, we've got Richie. Richie, how's it going?
Yeah, good. I said last week I'm gonna give you have a spot open. I want in, and I'm here. Look, I manifested it. It happened, and I don't have a Cornetto trilogy shirt, so maybe I'm not as big of a
Oh.
It's I also don't have a Cornetto trilogy shirt, but it's time to light up the spark to start off the show. But yeah, and how this works, because there's only like 8 movies that we're ranking today. It's just going to be a straight extended ranking, so we're just going to vote on what we want at 8, and then talk about that movie. Then we move on to the next spot. The only movie we're not going to be ranking is A Fistful of Fingers, because that is his student movie, and it's really hard to find. It was on YouTube at one point, according to Chad, but it's not there now. But yeah, there'll be everything from Shaun of the Dead to The Running Man. But that, Kiri, what movie do you want at number 8?
Oh, starting with me. Okay. At number 8, I'm gonna put Running Man. It's very good.
Oh,
wait.
Yeah. You just say the movie.
Oh,
yeah.
I just didn't. Oh, I'm so sorry. Running Man.
It's all good. Chad, what movie do you have at 8?
Yeah, it's sad because it's kind of new, but I'm also putting Running Man.
Jordan, what do you have at 8?
Come on, Jordan, don't say Running Man.
Are we doing whiteboards yet, or no? I'm not used to.
Well, I mean, you can do whiteboards if you want. It's up to you however you want to do it. Yeah,
I do have a whiteboard. I have the Sparks Brothers because I just watched it last night, and it's too new in my mind. So.
Richie, what do you have at number 8?
Come on, I'm always trepidatious and I leave it up to Malcolm, but that's what's going to happen. Because I've always got the Sparks Brothers. I think I also watched it recently for this, and yeah, I'll get into it later.
Yeah, I don't often do this, but unfortunately, because I really like the other 7 movies, and just because I haven't got around to do The Running Man, I've
man, you guys are
bullshit.
Yeah, that is.
But The Running Man will be at 8. But Kiri, what are your thoughts about the Running Man?
Sorry, now I will speak my thoughts. I thought it was very good. This is not anything bad about The Running Man. I think every single Edgar Wright movie is very, very good. Chad and I saw this last night. I really enjoyed it. I do think there were like some flaws and some things that I think could have maybe been done maybe a little bit better. It just like didn't have that Edgar Wright style for a lot of the movie either. Was very Stephen King though. Maybe that's what he was more going for, which makes sense. But this being number 8 is like nothing bad against this movie because I did genuinely enjoy it. It's also the newest movie. I haven't seen it as much as any of the other movies he has. and those all hold like very special places in my heart. So unfortunately for me right now, Running Man is number 8. It's last, but it's still very good.
But Chad, what are your thoughts about The Running Man?
Yeah, it was actually kind of interesting because I went into The Running Man with, hearing just a lot of people kind of, dipping on it and saying like it's, disappointing and for Edgar Wright movie and stuff like that. So I went in it wanting to really like it, and I did. I really had a lot of fun with it. But because it is so new, and because, like Carrie said, there are some parts where it feels like more so than just like a pure Edgar Wright film, that it feels like maybe they had too many cooks in the kitchen, like writing this one. I feel like, a lot of the writing might have been a little bit like too on the nose at times with trying to, force, some sort of, idea of like, anti-authoritarianism and anti-commercialism and stuff like that. But what we got with the action, I thought was pretty incredible. And honestly, yeah, just like Carrie was saying, in a list of 8 movies that are helmed by Edgar Wright, I feel like even being 8 is high praise, because it's just like it's such a good movie in his filmography. It's just he has so many other good ones above it in my opinion, and it's so new that if I rewatch it, this could always change too. But for now, it didn't have anything in it that made me love it more than the other 7. So,
Jordan, what do you think about The Running Man?
So, like this year, to me, it kind of had movies that, like some movies that get a lot of mixed reviews, and I go see them and end up loving them. Like The Running Man had mixed reviews, and I went and saw it. I thought it was great. Like I had a blast from beginning to end. And where you haven't seen it yet, Malcolm, I've already seen it twice in theaters because I loved it that much. And I want to support like movies like this and give extra money to it if I can. And then it's the same way with like Tron Ares. Like I love that, and that got mixed reviews. Even kind of Wicked right now. Like I really loved it, and it's mixed. But yeah, like I had a blast, and I love that it, like the 3 contestants that you get are a lot of fun with, like Katie O'Brien and Martin Herlihy, because I'm a big fan of the Please Don't Destroy guys from SNL. They had a movie out that I was high on that most of the rest of the community weren't. The Treasure of Foggy Mountain or something. And yeah, like I just thought that like all the cast fit what they were there to do, and like definitely Glenn Powell, like he's for sure the star, but everyone had a chance to shine, from like William H. Macy and Michael Cera in there, and Coleman Domingo was a great host of the Running Man, and then Josh Brolin being the like sleazy executive. So yeah, like I had a blast with it, and I thought that the action really hit. Maybe some of the jokes I can kind of understand, like they're a little out of place at times, but for me, like it didn't really bug me too much. So yeah.
And Richie, what are your thoughts about The Running Man?
Yeah, I love this movie. That was I thought it was really really fun. Yeah, I thought it might go this way. I was like, I'm going to defend this movie and make it so it's not going to be at the bottom.
Same.
Failed. I didn't expect someone to vote for it and beat it. But yeah, it is. Yeah, I had a ball with this. I think Glenn Powell. I was on the Glenn Powell train for a while. I thought he was just a dude that they were trying to make a star. And then it's like, no, this is your star. You're gonna like him. But I think in the right roles, he's good. And I think like it was the Hitman and this. I think okay, he's got charisma. He's I'm on board. I'm on board the train now. And yeah, it was fun. I think Michael Cera in a small role was really good. So sort of a different role for him. He even sounds different. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. And yeah, always like when Coleman Domingo pops up and stuff as well. He's just got that sort of gravitas to him. So yeah, I hope this movie catches on like in a cult like status, because yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I think people were too harsh on this movie. So yeah, disagree at number 8, but what can you do?
I mean, it's one of those ones like it was like as we said, and I'll get to it eventually, but it's like, and as I said, I don't often vote for movies I haven't seen, but if with Edgar Wright having such a strong filmography as he does, in my opinion, like there's not a lot of movies like I like if there's a movie I really didn't like of his, I would have voted it first. But yeah, it is what it is. But with some movies, I can get mixed reviews. So like Wicked for Good, it's one of those ones like the Act 2 of that musical is very mixed as it is. But yeah, I'm not going to get too much that Edgar Wright didn't direct Wicked for Good. So, but moving on,
Hey, it could have been better if he did. No.
But Chad, what do you have at number 7?
And this is a movie I love actually, but I actually have at 7 Last Night in Soho.
Jordan, what do you have at 7?
I've still got the Sparks Bros.
Richie, what do you have at 7?
Sparks Brothers.
And I also went the Sparks Brothers. And Kerry, what do you have at 7?
I also had the Sparks Brothers.
The Sparks Brothers is going to be at number 7. But Chad, what are your thoughts about the Sparks Brothers?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, you know, it's a very like niche kind of movie. I mean, it's a documentary, but then again, like looking at Edgar Wright's filmography, I find it fascinating that he wanted to do a documentary, and I find the subject matter itself actually really fascinating. I mean, I'm a big music guy, so just like watching this movie about a band that was around for so long, like, and influential, that just like didn't get like the recognition that maybe they should have, you know, because they're strange or, you know, made bad choices or like whatever it was, but still like making music and staying true to themselves. I thought it was just such a fascinating story. I haven't like gone around to actually listen to the Sparks after this, even though like, you know, the movie makes you want to go and check them out. But seeing Edgar Wright helm this, I thought was fascinating because, you know, what is the one big thing of Edgar Wright that we all go, that's his style, is like quick editing and, you know, jump cuts and things like that. And this documentary is like all that. It's just a lot of like, you know, quick editing and just like, you know, everything comes at you really fast and it really kind of flies by as a documentary. And so I really like this one. I had this one actually at like number 5. Just because I don't know, documentaries I generally rate really high if I find them interesting and, you know, if they, you know, kind of fly by for me. But I don't know, maybe that was a little too high. You know, consensus is that it's not as good as some of his like, you know, other like narrative features and stuff. But yeah, I really like this one. So I can see it being ranked a little bit lower.
But Jordan, what are your thoughts about the Sparks Brothers?
So I just watched this for the first time last night because I wanted to watch everything. I've seen everything else he's done, and yeah, it was good. But when I heard about it, I was like, the Sparks Brothers, like I've never heard of them. So are they like a fictional like group that he made up for this? And like, no, like they're like, to find out they're actually like real, and it's like, but like I'd never heard of them. It's kind of like Robbie Williams here in the States. He's like so popular everywhere else, but in the States, it's like no one hardly knows anything about him. So, but he is really good, and yeah, but yeah, and it was fun to see kind of like all these like famous people talk about him. Like you got like people like Mike Myers and Patton Oswalt in there, Weird Al Yankovic, Neil Gaiman's in there, just all kinds, like Danny DeVito, Simon Pegg, like all these people. Like the list goes on and on and on. They like interviewed everyone for this, and it's fun, and like it kind of made me appreciate it a little more and want to check out their music. But yeah, for me though, it's just someone I'm just now discovering, so I'm kind of like need some time to like not only for the documentary to sit, but also like their music and that too. So yeah, so that's kind of my take on it.
Yeah, I was getting there.
Oh,
Richie,
okay.
what do you think about the Sparks Brothers?
Okay. Sure.
No, I really enjoyed it. I think it's when it boils down to it, when it boils down to it, and you realize what the sort of avant-garde band the Sparks Brothers are, you kind of go, yeah, this would fit Edgar Wright. Like, I can see why Edgar Wright would like this band, and I haven't. I also haven't gone and listened to their stuff, but I think it's. I probably would. They sound like it sounds like. I would enjoy. I do like the touch of like Simon Pegg voicing John Lennon and Nick Frost voicing Ringo Starr. That was fun. And it's something different. I wouldn't mind him if he did a biopic of this. Just do a biopic of your own documentary. I mean, that'd be kind of cool. And so, obviously, it has to be pretty fast, pretty spectacular to like trump his narrative, straight narrative features for me. But this is still pretty solid, and I like how he went in a different direction. So, yeah.
But I like what it says also in the synopsis. It says they're your favorite band's favorite band. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah. But this is one of those ones that that at one point this was probably my number one, but it's more of a case like I don't know where I was when I first watched the Sparks Brothers, but I did give it a rewatch just because it had been a while since I've actually seen it. It did drop down a little bit for me. But as well, I still think it's a good documentary. And it's one of those ones that I always really like these documentaries where it's like they try and tell you about someone that you may not have ever heard of before, but it makes you want to do it. I was trying to find out sort of why Edgar Wright chose to do the Sparks Brothers, but it doesn't. But it's one of those ones like if you think about the music he uses a lot in his movies, like he does tend to go for a lot of the lesser sort of known like musicians and bands sometimes. So it's also one of those ones I get. It's a really good documentary, and then I recommend people to check out, obviously. But Kerry, what are your thoughts about the Sparks Brothers?
Yeah, I like this one. I do have it lower, like I think similar to what Jordan and Richie said. Like I didn't really know who the Sparks Brothers were before this documentary. I hadn't really listened to their music, but I do think I put it at number 7 just because I do feel like it was made with a lot of heart. And it's a really good documentary. Like even for a band or a group that I knew nothing about when I started the documentary, it still held my attention the whole time. I thought it was really fascinating and really well done. So yeah, a little bit lower I think than everything else, but overall like a really solid documentary. I think it's really interesting that Edgar Wright chose to do a documentary like at that point in his career. And I think it paid off really well. Like it's a good one to watch.
Yeah. But yeah, moving on. Jordan, what do you have at number 6?
My number 6, I have The World's End.
Richie, what do you have at 6?
Probably a hot take, and I'm probably not going to sit on this for a while, but Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
I thought I was going to be the only one that was going to do this, but The World's End. Kerry, what do you have at 6?
At 6, I have Baby Driver.
And Chad, what do you have at 6?
I guess I have Baby Driver at 6.
So, Richie, because you're the only one different, The World's End or Baby Driver at 6?
I'm a big defender of World's End. I think it's fantastic. So, and I like Baby Driver, but I like World's End better. So, Baby Driver.
Oh, okay. Dang.
But Jordan, what are your thoughts about Baby Driver?
Well, my thoughts are that's my number 1 because I love Baby Driver. But I think that the Baby Driver rules because of the music. Like I love movies that are music driven. Especially like ones like this. Like this is an action movie, and it's just like just so good. And from like top to bottom, I just think that the music fits. The soundtrack's so good. Like I went out and I listened to the soundtrack over and over when this came out. Like the one song that I really like from it is the version of Tequila to Kill Ya from the trailers and all that. And because I can play, that's like one of the few songs I can play on the piano. I can play Tequila. So and yeah, like I thought that like all the supporting roles besides Ansel Elgort, I mean John Bernthal, he's great. John Hamm in there, Jamie Foxx, Kevin Spacey, like a lot of good villains in there that like he just kind of like gets his revenge on like the whole crew in it, and yeah, I think that's great, and like it's like I'm not the best a dancer at all, but I love like movies that get you moving and make you feel like you want to dance, and yeah, it's always a good time. So yeah.
Richie, what are your thoughts about Baby Driver?
Yeah, I do really like Baby Driver. I think it's really it's really fun. I think Ansel Elgort is very charismatic in the role. Yeah, and I think that the performances are great. And yeah, just you can. And definitely a love letter to that era of music as well. I just like his, I like his character. Yeah, I mean, a lot has happened with the actor since then. I mean, Ken Spacey notwithstanding, but and Ansel Elgort's not as marketable as he once was. But I wouldn't mind a return to this world at some point. That'd be cool. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this, and that's one of the things I go for to Edgar Wright for. Not just because of the funny witty dialogue. There's also the choice of like soundtrack and the way he mixes it in with the act, blends it in with the action, and I think he does it really seamlessly here. So yeah, I probably obviously I have it a bit higher, but that Baby Driver was really good.
But so like not to interrupt or anything, but I forgot to throw in one thing that I want to mention. My favorite moment in the movie is like when he goes into the bank and he's like doesn't want to do any of this stuff. He just wants to get out of the lifestyle. And then the like bank like teller lady, she quotes something that's she says it's from Dolly Parton. I've tried to fact check that. I don't know, but she's like I haven't been able to like really confirm it, but she uses the quote, everybody wants happiness, nobody wants pain, but there can't be a rainbow without a little rain. And that's like something that like I actually like wrote that and put it on my bulletin board in my room, because it's like you're always gonna have like bad times before the good, or vice versa. You can't have good without bad. So I kind of appreciate that. So anyways, go ahead.
But yeah, I also really love Baby Driver. Like this is also my like top end of Edgar Wright's filmography, but it's also one of those ones like as I said, like this is kind of the one where it's like when Edgar Wright did Sparks Brothers, I was kind of interested because it's like I love his soundtracks here is lesser known singers that you may not have always heard of. There's some known bands there, but not the known songs, if that makes sense. So, and he does a good job of making you find out about these like new music. And the movie itself, I think, is really good. Like both like Kevin Spacey and Ansel Elgort have kind of fell off like since then. Although I think Kevin Spacey has said recently there's planning a comeback. Whether or not that even happens, I don't know.
And Ansel Elgort was in a TV show called Tokyo Vice, which is good. That was after.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's right.
But I think the way it's done, it's good. And just an interesting fact I just actually found out. When Edgar Wright was doing the soundtrack to this, he actually consulted James Gunn because Guardians Volume 2 is coming out at the same time, and he wanted to make sure they don't have any crossover of songs, so so they don't have the same songs on their soundtracks, which I thought was really interesting. But Kiri, what are your thoughts about Baby Driver?
Yeah, I love this movie. Like, it's a 5-star movie for me, and we're at number 6, and we're already into my 5-star movies. Like, that's how much I love Edgar Wright's filmography. This is just like, I guess of my 5 stars, my like least favorite. I don't know. It's this movie's so good. Like you guys have been saying, like how the music connects with the action is fantastic. I think it just is such a strength of Edgar Wright. You can see it throughout his movies leading up to this one, but I think he really just almost perfects it here with how much music is used and how much it's tied to the action. The storyline is great. I love like Lily James in this is think we haven't mentioned yet, like as his girlfriend or love interest. Yeah, overall a fantastic plot, fantastic supporting actors. Yeah, overall I just have this one lower because I love everything else so much more. But this is just a phenomenal movie.
And Chad, what are your thoughts about Baby Driver?
Yeah, I mean, I mirror kind of what Carrie has to say is that, like, you know, 6 of my ranked movies are 5 stars. I agree, and it just so happens that this is a movie that has like 2 like very problematic people, and yet it still like really works. I think they're good in the movie. You know, it is what it is. If you can't watch it, you can't watch it. But I still can, and you know, I love watching it. And I think that I just like heist movies too, and so to see this one be like very different in that it's like, you know, almost kind of like a musical adjacent, where he's able to kind of, you know, put everything to music and make music such a, you know, such a influential like thing for the story, and you know, it's so impactful for the story. And you know, I love all the characters. I think it's, you know, funny, but I think it's also very, you know, heartfelt and emotional in a lot of ways too. So, you know, it really hits on all the beats, and this is such a great movie. And I remember I watched this drunk for the first time because I used to go to the restaurant with my friend. I went with James Ancosta, and we walked to Hoyt's from Ruby Tuesdays, and I watched this drunk. It was pretty awesome. But yeah, I've seen it many times since sober, and it's great no matter what condition you're in. And you know, yeah, it's a fun movie, and it sucks that it's a little bit lower, but he has so many great movies.
Yeah,
The song Deborah by Beck is great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and for some reason, Baby Driver overall makes me think. Imagine if we would have gotten Edgar Wright's Ant-Man, because that was going to be a thing for a little bit. I was like, that would have been awesome, and like the music he could have thrown into that.
You can there's still his hallmarks on there with the soundtrack. Yeah.
Yeah. Just a little bit, yeah.
But Richie, what do you have at number 5?
Again, I'm gonna be sitting on this for a bit. I think it's Scott Pilgrim, but it's still well.
I'm sticking for the World's End. Kiri.
I have Last Night in Soho.
Chad.
Last Night in Soho.
And Jordan.
I'll stick with The World's End.
Well, Richie comes down to you again. Last Night in Soho or The World's End?
Well, I'm gonna keep moving. I'm gonna keep it living for a bit. So I'll go Last Night in Soho.
Last Night in Soho is going to be at number 5. But Richie, what are your thoughts about Last Night in Soho?
Yeah, it is really good. I really like how it's shot as well. I think it's really good. Thomas McKenzie is a star, and Jordan is amazing at it. Yeah, it probably it's a bit different. Doesn't have like the same like Edgar Wright isms, but it's still very 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 good. And yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. It's really fun to watch. Really well written. Great sort of um, great use of suspense, and her and Thompson McKenzie and Anya Joy have really good chemistry. So I don't know. I honestly probably would have if I got my wish and we got Scott Pilgrim, this would be my next choice anyway.
I agree.
Yeah, this is one that it's been a while since I've seen it. If I had more time, I would have given it a rewatch for this, but I had other things I just kind of wanted to watch this week for other things. But I think it's really good. I think Thompson McKenzie is great in the movie, and this is another one which kind of been really underseen. Like, it was only like made like $23 million, and there's like, and I think it's really, it's really good. Like, this ended up as my this is my number 2 actually. But yeah, and it's definitely one of those ones which I always thought was really mixed. Like, I thought it was a lot of fun. And it was one of the, and I think Edgar Wright is a good way of like doing things that are very thematically similar, but also very different at the same time. But Kerry, what are your thoughts about Last Night in Soho?
Yeah, I love this movie. It was really cool to see Edgar Wright do finally just a straight horror movie. Like, obviously he had done a horror comedy before, and just to see him do a straight horror movie, like this giallo type movie where things get really crazy. There's this big mystery with a crazy twist. It was just really fun. I think the horror elements were really fantastically done. Anya Taylor-Joy is also really fantastic in this. I just thought it was just a fascinating story. Matt Smith is also great in this. He's like really creepy. I love the color scheme of this movie and just the like Thomasin McKenzie's fashion sense. Like, she's kind of living in this like 70s world and she's traveling back in time. But it's also very modern and the time that she's actually living in. And just the kind of time travel aspects and seeing herself in Anya Taylor-Joy's character's shoes. I think all of it just is really fascinating. I think it's a great rewatch. Like, it holds up fantastic during a rewatch, which is awesome.
Chad, what are your thoughts about Last Night in Soho?
I'm glad we got it top 5, even though I did have it ranked a little bit lower. But I've always been a defender of this because this seemed to be the first movie. Like, it was like right kind of like when we were like, I think we're back from COVID a little bit.
Yeah.
Barry and I still went and saw it in the theater and still excited for a new Edgar Wright movie. And then, I just remember so many people were kind of like, is this Edgar Wright's first like not great movie or whatever? And I really enjoyed it. I disagreed. I love that Malcolm said this was his number 2 because that's just incredible. Because I do think it's a really good movie. I love horror. I think that's such a great horror movie. Honestly, everything Carrie said was kind of probably what I would have said. So, that's kind of like just mirrored, ditto to everything Carrie said, because it is a brilliant like giallo movie. Some people are like, well, it's like kind of just like mimicking giallo, but I just think, this is like what Edgar Wright would have made in the style of giallo, and I just think that's such a really cool thing. Like, it's not like the mystery's not good, because I think the mystery is really good. I love the filmmaking style, like how they do the dancing all like in camera, like practically, with McKenzie like hiding under the camera and then popping up to dance with Matt Smith, and then it goes around and then Joy's over there dancing with them. It's just like so cool how they able to do things like that, and it just really makes the movie that much more enjoyable and realistic, even though it is about like time travel and stuff, which is really cool, but also like from like a feminist perspective, which I really found really fascinating. Kind of like what I was talking about, like where the messaging in The Running Man, I don't think really came like fully through the dialogue and everything. But here, I think they really nailed the messaging and stuff. So I just think it's a really damn good movie. So glad it made the top 5.
But Jordan, what do you say about Last Night in Soho?
Yeah, I think that it's really good. Yeah, I think that so I was a little skeptical going in also too. I was like, yo, man, this is gonna be maybe a miss for Edgar Wright, but for me, it really wasn't. Like it is really great. And I was trying to see where I actually had it on my own letterbox. I think I have it. It's on number 6. So, but still, that's not really saying anything because yeah, I think that like all Edgar Wright movies have been great in my opinion, and yeah, and he has another one with a fun cast, especially rest in peace to Terrence Stamp in the movie. I thought he was good in it, and yeah, the whole time travel aspect, the color schemes too, I thought were like really cool and kind of like almost like dream-like kind of, or and I've been a big fan of Thomasin McKenzie. Probably like when I started in like Leave No Trace was like probably when like I really like discovered her and like she was great in that. And then you go to Jojo Rabbit and to like Old, even though Old's okay to me, I don't hate it, but and then I was trying to see if she has any movies coming up. I guess she's going to be in that Frackham Hall movie that's coming out soon. So with like Jimmy Carr and Tom Felton and all those guys. Yeah. So that actually looks pretty funny from the trailer. Looking forward to that. And then she has a horror movie coming out next year called Victorian Psycho. I don't really see like a lot about it, but other than it's based on a book. But yeah. So but yeah, Last Night in Soho is awesome. So yeah.
And yeah, one thing that I actually forgot to mention is there's actually that I completely forgot there was like cameos from Sam Claflin in the movie, as well as the Phelps twins from Harry Potter.
Yeah,
they both pop up in the movie at times.
Oh,
but
nice.
But moving on to number 4. At number 4, I'm sticking with The World's End. Kerry, what do you have it for? Your screen's muted, but
Sorry, I unmuted.
At number 4, you guys will be happy. I have The World's End.
Not me.
Some people will be happy.
Chad, what do you have at number 4?
My number 4, I have Scott Pilgrim.
Jordan, what do you have at number 4?
No, you fucker. I mean, I'm totally.
I'm sticking with The World's End. Sorry.
And Richie,
just realized. Sorry, Elijah, you can only do words. That's Pilgrim.
But it's going to be the end for The World's End here. But yeah. Look, I mean, it's one of those ones like, it's still top 5, like, and yeah. I still really like The World's End. I think it's pretty good. It's just my least favorite of Cornetto trilogy, which is not saying a lot because I do like all 3 movies of the Cornetto trilogy, but it's just one of those ones where I never really quite got to the point of really loving it, but I also don't like. But I think it's good. It's definitely good. I think this story was kind of lacking for me, and I think it might have just been partially because like Simon Pegg and sort of Nick Frost kind of switching roles from what they did in the ones where like Nick Frost was the more straight-laced one, and Simon Pegg was the kind of and it kind of threw me for a loop a little bit, but it's just one of those ones where I think it was a really interesting story. It was a good take on the body snatchers like type thing, and even like all the supporting cast I think was a lot of fun as well. But Kerry, what are your thoughts about The World's End?
Yeah, I love this movie. I think it's so cool just the way it shifts. Yeah, buddy. The way it shifts from like this movie that's about, you know, a reunion between these guys who are drinking, and just like mid movie it shifts into an alien invasion movie. It's so much fun. It has a lot of heart. I feel like just the storyline, especially between Simon Pegg's character and Nick Frost's character, like in their backstory, and how Simon Pegg's character is really struggling with addiction. And Nick Frost's character kind of has moved past his addiction, but is also still struggling with it. And like they're struggling with their past together. And just the way I don't know, just the way this group of friends like navigates like this emotional step of having this reunion in bars, and they're all dealing, like at least the two main characters are dealing with addiction, and then it just shifts into how are they interacting during an alien invasion. It's crazy. Rosamund Pike is also really fantastic in this movie. Like Martin Freeman's really good. I think overall just like a really underrated piece of work, because I think it does have a lot of really deep messaging, and it is hilarious. Like it's a hilarious movie.
But Chad, what are your thoughts about The World's End?
Yeah, I mean, this is like one of the toughest things when I said when we get to my top 4, even when I said like I put Scott Pilgrim number 4, I freaking love that movie too. It's just like the Cornetto trilogy is maybe my favorite trilogy. There's just so many trilogies that I love, but this one is just so, I mean, it's unconventional because they're different stories, but like they all go together, and they're like the different flavors of the Cornetto. And I think this is the one that, yeah, like Carrie said, is underrated. It's the one that always kind of gets like the, well, it's just the weakest of the trilogy. I've never come from that perspective. Like I guess I get it because Sean and Hot Fuzz are both so good that it's like when you get to the third one, you're kind of like, well, that's not as good as those because I love those and you have spent so much time with them. But The World's End just hasn't really, you know, gains like that, like cult level, like status, like the others that I feel like, you know, it deserves, because in some ways I feel like this is the best one of the 3. It's weird because every single one has something that makes it the best one, and they're all like kind of their own little genre. Like I love how this is, you know, a take on the sci-fi genre. It's also a, you know, horror film in its own way, and it also is kind of the deepest one where it's talking about addiction and friendship, and you know, taking advantage of friends, but also, you know, kind of letting go of your youth, and you know, not being able to get like a specific time in your life where things were good back. And it's just like really you know, commentary on life and stuff, and in a way that the other ones really aren't. So this one, you know, in a way sometimes might be my favorite, just because it's also so fun, and like Carrie said, so funny, and just, you know, a really fun movie to see it. Like they go on an adventure, and then, you know, it's just, you know, trying to do this game of going through all the pubs, but then it really ends in like a deep place, and then it takes a crazy ass turn, one in the middle of the movie with, you know, holy shit, now we're in an alien invasion. Two, you know, oh shit, now the apocalypse actually happened. Like it's just such a crazy movie that I love that he takes these like giant swings, and in my opinion actually all works so well. But it's also like an Invasion of the Body Snatchers type of thing, which I think is such a cool take on it. And it might be my favorite out of all those as well, you know, because it's so interesting and fun. But yeah, I mean, I get it. A lot of people put this one last, but I've always really adored this one in the same kind of way as the others. So, you know, in some days this could be my 1, 2, 3, or 4. So I'm glad that it got as high as 4, because I know a lot of people like to, you know, act like it's just one of his weaker films. I just think it's super strong.
But Jordan, what are your thoughts about The World's End?
So even though I do think that like it's number 3 of the trilogy for me, that's still like my third favorite. Like to say, like it's not a bad movie. It's still like they're all kind of like just really great. And like Chad even brought up a bunch of things about why the trilogy is so great, because you you have people that like they'll look at it and be like, well, Shaun of the Dead is the best one, but then later on they'll like flip flop and be like, no, I think The World's End is the best, and Shaun of the Dead's overrated, or like, wait a minute, and like they're like having a hard time trying to decide which is the best, and like I kind of go back and forth a little bit too, because there's things about this movie that I really love, and yeah, just like the friends going on an adventure, all kind of coming back together, and like just them going on the like pub crawl, and like all the different names, all the pubs. You got the First Post, the Old Familiar, the Famous Cock, the like the Cross Hands, the Hole in the Wall. So you got all these different pubs, and it's fun, and then yeah, the whole alien like body snatcher thing of it, and like when they finally confront him, like probably one of my favorite scenes is Nick Frost when he finally just had enough. He's like, I fucking hate this town. He grabs the stools and he's just bashing people, and the blue stuff's going everywhere and stuff. But it's a lot of fun. So this movie is fun, and like I'm not really mad at all that it's this high. I mean it certainly deserves it. So yeah.
And Richie, what are your thoughts about The World's End?
Yeah, I really like this movie a lot. It's actually my number 2. Really, it was number 3, but then on rewatch, it hit there. I just thought it was. I really enjoy this movie a lot. I like how, like, England's a decently big place, but they seem like have to have like such a limited pool of actors. I feel like Eddie Marsan's in everything. I keep seeing him if it's a British movie, he's going to show up. He's just like, oh, I'm in this. He's in everything. But yeah, and then you got like obviously Pierce Brosnan showing up, Bill Nighy. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like the running joke of WTF. And he's like, what the fuck does WTF mean? That was
Yeah.
Shout out to British actor Reece Shearsmith too, who was on the recent season of Taskmaster, who's in this movie. Also, going back a little bit, if you haven't, underrated Thomas Mackenzie movie, Lost Girls, watch that. Anyway, but yeah, the World's End is really good, and yeah, I like them playing against time, and how like every time they go to they're excited to go to a pub, it's basically empty and sad. But yeah, no, I think, and Martin Freeman's great. I always like Martin Freeman. Again, I like doing the show to make recommendations. If you want to see Martin Freeman's like real acting prowess, he's in a TV show called The Responder, where he's a cop. Really good. He plays a Liverpool guy. But yeah, World's End's great.
Yeah. I'll say, like, Bill Nighy's getting to be that point. It's like, if it's a British movie, you can almost guarantee Bill Nighy's going to be in there somewhere.
Usually.
But yeah, moving on to number 3, which interesting. I think at least we know 2 people are going to go unless they decide to change their votes. But Kerry, what do you have at number 3?
Number 3, I have Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Chad, what do you have at number 3?
At this point, I love all 3 of these, so I don't really care anymore. I think any of these could be number 1, but I'll still stick with Scott Pilgrim.
Jordan, what do you have at number 3?
Yeah, I think it's time. Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
And Richie.
It was time at the start of the stream. Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
But I would have been slightly different. I read Short of the Dead, but Scott Pilgrim versus the World is going to be it. Which is kind of funny. It came up for the World's End, and I want to see that crossover person now. Scott Pilgrim versus the World's End. But anyway,
yeah, right.
Kim, what are your thoughts about Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
Oh man, I love this movie. Again, I know I've said this about probably like every single movie on this list. Chad and I saw this, I think, without really knowing anything about the movie. We went to the theater and it was playing, and we picked a movie and we saw this one, and I think we both just fell in love with it and fell in love with the story. And I know there's like parts of this that sitting here in 2025 have probably not held up, especially like this was originally a graphic novel. So like even earlier than this was filmed in 2010, like the story is even older than that. Like, you know, Scott having like a high school age girlfriend and all of that. But I don't know, like maybe it's all nostalgia or what, but I just still love this movie. I don't think you're supposed to like think Scott Pilgrim is this flawless character either. I think he is intentionally a very flawed character. But yeah, this is just like one of those movies where I think Edgar Wright's style just really shines. The way he just kind of incorporates this like comic book style into it, the way the music meshes with the action, the actors in this are all so extraordinary, and everyone just like all of them blew up, I think, after this movie a lot more than they already like were popular, especially like, you know, Brie Larson and Aubrey Plaza. This is just like, it brings a smile to my face every single time I watch it. It's just such a comfort movie.
Chad, what are your thoughts about Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
Yeah, Carrie and I were some of the few people that saw this movie because in the theater because it bombed, and then just turns out it's just a great movie. Like, you know, Edgar Wright taking his style that we. Oh, did the TV turn off?
Yeah.
Did you do that on purpose?
No.
Taking his style in the way that we've seen it with like Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. Well, yeah, Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. And then taking it to adapt a comic book and then making it look like a comic book and feel like a comic book is really cool. Like down to like, I think because this was in the style of manga or whatever, where like apparently like their eyes don't really close in manga that much. And so apparently like he was like directing all the actors and not blink that much.
No, geez.
like down to like that level, which is just such a cool attention to detail that makes this such a cool movie. It's so funny. It's, you know, it's maybe the funniest of the movies, which is saying something because there's so many funny movies in Wright's filmography. It is up there. Just like everything, like when he, you know, dives out the window, every time someone like says anything about his hair and he goes, what? And puts on a hat.
Bread makes you fat.
Bread makes you fat.
Right. Yeah.
And then you know, Kieran Culkin, as we've seen him just growing up to be like one of the funniest people in Hollywood. And then, you know, just in every project he's in, like Succession, you know, the new one he won the Oscar for, and, you know, in this, he's just so funny in the movie. And just like, yeah, like Carrie was talking about, it has such a perfect cast. You know, the action is really, really cool. And I love the story. You know, I know that people kind of get down on Scott's character, but I agree with Carrie. I don't think he's supposed to be like the most likable character. I mean, he's extremely flawed, and yet we still like to see him go on his adventures anyways. And this has like such a big cult following. I mean, they did that Netflix, you know, animated series that they did too, which is really cool. We actually have to finish that. But, you know, this movie is just so incredible. I love watching it. We watched it again when they re-released it in 4K and in the theater, and that was such a cool experience as well. So this movie rules. It's number 3, which is great. It could be number 1 or number 2, and yeah.
But Jordan, what are your thoughts about Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
Well, say hello. We are Sex Bomb, and we are here to make you think about death and get sad and stuff. All right. Yeah. Yeah. The movie's great, and before the movie came out, there's a friend of mine that was like, you got to read the graphic novels. They're making this movie. The graphic novels are all great. Here, just take them, and just like handed me all these books that he had and let me borrow them. So I just watched them on I read them all before I watched the movie, and like that really kind of added to it. And yeah, like there's some stuff that I'm really sad that the movie bombed, because it would have been fun to have a sequel to it. But we did get the animated series, which I haven't seen yet, want to check it out. But yeah, it's really fun just having him go and like battle all his evil exes and yeah, like there's some cool like stylistic things, like how they make it even almost feel like a video game at parts that are like losing lives and all that stuff. And yeah, I just having yeah, the supporting cast is also great too, because I'm a huge Aubrey Plaza fan. So like the way that she like speaks and it gets like redacted or like whatever she's saying. And then the Mary Elizabeth Winstead, she's of course great. And then yeah, Kieran Culkin, yeah, being like the like gay roommate, like that's actually kind of fun. And yeah, just like, I mean, I think, I don't know, like I feel like this movie gets like a weird amount of hate just because of of Scott Pilgrim's character. Like he's not very nice to Ramona or even Knives, like both of them. And then just kind of I don't know, I don't really like follow that logic too much. I love it. I think it's great. And yeah, so yeah, I think it's great. And I'm glad it's ranked high.
Don't forget about young Neil, who becomes Neil.
Oh yeah, Neil. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
good times. Yeah.
But Richie, what are your thoughts about Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
Yeah, I just didn't dig it as much as everyone else. I understand. You know, you can have a flawed character, but I don't feel like I understand the graphic novel explores why he has those flaws more than the movie does, and yeah, I think there's a difference between flaws and just being an unlikable asshole, and I think he kind of crosses that threshold for me personally. But yeah, I don't know. There are aspects where I like, though. I like the sporting cast. I like obviously the video game, the homage to sort of, you know, your 80s sort of video games, or in your 8-bit sort of video games, and the fights and stuff. I think are cool. And obviously the people actors who weren't as famous as they are now, you know, all lived throughout the movie. Yeah, I mean, I believe a few years ago, me and Chad teamed up in a league we were called the Sexual Bombs in this one match.
Oh, nice.
That was interesting. But yeah, no, like I don't actively hate it. There's not any Edgar Wright movie I actively hate. It's just the one I connected to the least, I guess. But yeah, like, but yeah, I acknowledge really everyone is good here and their role, and yeah, it's just not one that I go back to as much. But you know, you like what you like.
Sure.
Yeah, and it's one of those ones. Like, I was just looking at the cast of this and that, and like there was a couple of people which I totally didn't actually realize was in it until now. It's like they were uncredited, but Thomas Jane was the voice of one of the vegan police officers. Well, Thomas Jane was one of the vegan police officers. The other one was Clifton Collins Jr., who was in a few things as well. So I totally didn't know that. And Bull Hader was just the voice. I have no idea where the voice was, but Bull Hader was in there somewhere as well.
Oh yeah, I see that here. The voice, yeah. Weird.
Yeah. But yeah, this is I think similar to Chad. I was asked if I wanted to go see this movie at the theaters, and I was like, sure. And I quite like this movie. Like, I had no idea what the graphic novel was, and I still have to check out the graphic novel actually, but
Hey, you should.
But it's just been one of those ones where I've just always really enjoyed it a lot. The more I see it, and I just think it's a lot of fun. Like the video game elements, I think really work. And yeah, and it's one of those ones like I've never really understood a lot of the people's complaints about is like, that Scott's an unlikable character. Is like, as like it doesn't, and that doesn't bother me a lot. But like the way I see it is similar to Chad and Kira. Like, I don't think you're supposed to like him. But he is a real dick to knives and all that. It's like, especially the scene where he's like where they're on the date is like he's just acting also like non-interested and all that. So, and yeah, and when I was doing a year like film and television course, I actually recreated one of the scenes from this, which is the scene where they're on the date where we're learning about like transition techniques and stuff. Is like you go to recreate a scene from a movie is like you get to pick the scene overwhelmingly this is what people that was chosen. So yeah, so there's a lot of fun doing that as well. But we're going to move on to number one. We'll still talk about the number two movie, but we're going to vote on the number one movie. But Chad, what movie between Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead do you have as number one?
How are you going to make me choose, Malcolm? This is so tough.
Well, I'm making you choose right now.
I know. I'm going to go with my first love, the movie that started it all, Shaun of the Dead.
But Jordan, what do you have as number one?
And I'm actually going to go with Hot Fuzz for mine.
Richie, what do you have at number one?
Hot Fuzz.
I also went Hot Fuzz. Kerry, what do you have at number one?
I have Shaun of the Dead.
But Hot Fuzz will be number one, but we're going to talk about Shaun of the Dead first. Chad, what are your thoughts about Shaun of the Dead?
Yeah, boy. I guess that's what I have to say. I don't know. I mean, yeah, like I said, talking about The World's End, I think each one of these movies is kind of perfect in its own way, a perfect entry in the trilogy. It's like, do you go with the movie like this that is like just a perfect debut that says, "Hi world, I'm Edgar Wright. I'm going to be your next great director for, a decade or two to come." And or do you go with the Hot Fuzz that it's like the maybe the bigger, better kind of movie that's just so maybe they found their footing a little bit more. I don't know, but I feel like this just has like a perfect screenplay. Like I read a whole book on Shaun of the Dead and how they were able to write it and shop it around, and just like Edgar Wright had the whole movie in his head, and was when people were getting pitched this. They thought it was just going to be like a regular, like little storyboard thing. And he just like brought the whole movie and just like walked them through the whole movie kind of a deal. Cause he had it all in his head. And even when they were shooting it, people were like, what are you doing? Why do you need all of these shots and close-ups of everything? And it's like, with his editing style and just like unique way of filmmaking, it all worked. And, that's why this just became like one of the greatest horror comedies of all time, greatest horror movies, greatest comedies, introduced the world to Simon Pegg outside of Spaced, which is so cool, and Nick Frost, and like both of them are, still blowing up and doing a lot of great stuff, that I'm excited for. And this is just such a fun movie. It also was one that kind of introduced me more to horror, because I wasn't really like a horror fan before I saw this. And I wouldn't even say I was necessarily a fan after either. But like this was one of those like unique horror films that I actually liked before I started to dive into the genre as a whole. But yeah, this movie is just so fun. I love just what it talks about, like personal responsibility and just like, the Sean's arc throughout the movie. I think it's just so perfect, how everything is kind of mirrored, like from, and talking about how like the zombification of society and how society is kind of, becoming that way. And I mean, as we can look at now, like with, TikTok and everything, people are kind of becoming like, slaves to their phones and stuff like that. And we can see this kind of becoming true in a way. It's kind of showing that, is there really a difference if everyone was a zombie now? They're kind of like look like zombies, just in general already. And it's just a really fun like action movie. Like the sequence with, the Queen sequence in the bar is just so cool. And even like you look at the zombie acting where like they, all that, like pretty much all the extras that they had acting as zombies are so good, and most of them were unpaid. They were just there because they wanted to support the project. And I just think that's such a really cool thing too. So yeah, I don't know. I think this movie is so perfect. I'm glad it's number 2. I think it just rules. You know, it's just one of my favorite movies to watch. And I don't know. I keep going on, but I won't.
But Jordan, what are your thoughts about Shaun of the Dead?
Well, as Mr. Sloan always says, there's no iron team, but there's an iron pie, and there's an iron meat pie. And yeah, there's just so many great lines that just work, and even better, I would say, just because they're all British, that just even makes it even funnier. And yeah, just like a crazy, just like zombie comedy that just like goes to like crazy places, and there's so many things like when they take the shortcut and he's jumping over all the fences, but then Nick Frost can't get over it, and then he's crashing through them all, and then they're throwing records, they're doing unconventional things, like Princess Purple Rain. No,
That fence scene.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best. Yeah, and then like when they're like the Batman soundtrack, throw it or whatever. Dire Straits, but yeah, and yeah, I think that like it just shows like for this one kind of brings like Nick Frost and Simon Pegg more into the mainstream, and just shows the chemistry that they really have together, to where like the minute that I saw this, I'm like, I'll watch these two do anything. I don't care. They could sit and eat cereal for 2 hours, and we just love it. Like I'll watch them do anything. I don't care. so yeah, and yeah, so Shaun of the Dead rules, and the fact that it's like horror and comedy, like it's just like two great genres that I wish they would cross over more often than they do in life. But yeah, so I think it's great. So yeah, number 2, it's perfect for me.
Richie, what are your thoughts about Shaun of the Dead?
Yeah, no, I really like Shaun of the Dead quite a bit. Yeah, it's definitely a great debut, and yeah, I'm glad like a lot of British talent came. I'm glad it was so cool he was able to get all these like British talent that assembled to this one movie, and I think that made stars out of a lot of them. This was like obviously again early Martin Freeman has a small role, and that's one of my favorite comedians of all time. Glenn Moran is David. He's the guy that has the affection for Liz, and he sort of is a big goofy dude. Yeah, it's great Irish comedian. The record throwing scene is classic. Although I do not believe the Batman record is disposable. That record is a banger. So disagree on that front, and Dire Straits rule. So yeah, but yeah, I think it's a great debut film to announce itself, and yeah, just great special effects, great, really well written movie. Clearly a love letter to zombie movies of the past, and it's definitely, I think it's definitely cult classic for a reason. So yeah.
Funny enough, talking about TikTok, I saw a TikTok the other day of someone dressed up as Shaun from Shaun of the Dead, and going to Simon Pegg's house trick or treating. I think it's one of those ones. I think they made it seem like it was this whole like spontaneous thing, but he actually said he sort of contacted Simon Pegg, and Simon Pegg agreed to do it, and just for a fun TikTok and that, which I thought was entertaining. Nice. But yeah, I think Shaun of the Dead is a great movie, and it's one of the, it's definitely one that I've gone back to a few times. I think it's really good. I think it's a really good like zombie movie, and a parody movie as well of sorts. But and I think it's also really cool that George Romero sort of got them to cameo in one of the Dead movies. I can't remember which one it was. as their characters from Shaun of the Dead as zombies.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but yeah, I've just like it just even feels like right, we're gonna all end up at this pub, which conveniently enough is like one big safe place for zombies, like or to be protected. So I think it's just a really fun movie that.
But also too, I'll just throw in that like it's another one that shows the music in there that Edgar Wright uses, like when he gets dumped that they're like playing Chicago If You Leave Me Now or whatever, and he's like, who put this? Who the hell put this thing on? He's like, it's on random or whatever, and then or like when like Don't Stop Me Now starts playing and the action ramps up and they're hitting it with the pool cues and all that. Yeah, so the music really works.
But Kira, did I go you? I don't know.
Oh no, I haven't gone yet.
What was about Shaun of the Dead?
Yeah, this is my number one, like the first Edgar Wright movie I watched. My friend and I, we had rented Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead on DVD from Blockbuster, and the ad for this movie played before it, and it made us want to rent this movie. And we did, and that's when I just fell in love with this movie, and it's just one of my favorite movies of all time. I mean, I think you guys have hit on all the highlights, but it's hilarious. It's a perfect like spoof, not really a spoof movie. It's like a recreation with comedy and with love. You can tell how much respect and love Edgar Wright has for the genre, which I think made it so unique in a time where there were so many like horrible spoof movies. To have this one that was just like a comedic twist on the Dead genre was fantastic. But yeah, I love this movie.
I thought you saw it was going to go. It was like we went to Dawn of the Dead from Blockbuster, but that Shaun of the Dead was in its case instead.
Oh yeah.
Hilarious.
But now we're going to talk about the number one, which is Hot Fuzz. Jordan, what are your thoughts about Hot Fuzz?
Yeah, I mean, so you got Nicholas Angel. Now I always forget, is he commander or like what is he, or an inspector, or like he's something like that. But he's Nicholas Angel, and he's awesome. And it also has one of my favorite suiting up scenes too, where he's just really like he's like getting all the guns and like preparing for a battle. But that's after he gets sent to like a small crappy town that like he doesn't want to be in. But then he like realized that there's like a crazy cult and like crazy things going on, and then he gets talked into it by Nick Frost, and it's just like so good, and yeah, like I think that it's kind of like I wouldn't really call it like a fish out of water, but but he's like out of his element, but he just brings that kind of like the stuff from the city, and just brings in the like attitude, but then it just just the back and forth with Nick Frost, but he's like what about this guy? Gotta ask him, like why does he have his hat pulled down? That because he's fuck ugly. Like he doesn't want you to see his face, or like just random, just like off the wall. And I think that's kind of like what I like is like the places that this movie goes to, like how it just kind of just bonkers and off the wall. It's like, oh, what a cute little British town. It's like well, hell is about to break loose, and it does, and it's like, and it's amazing, it's fun, and yeah, and then there's also kind of like a detective aspect. He's trying to figure out what the hell's going on in this town. So yeah, but yeah, I think that Hot Fuzz is my personal favorite of the Cornetto trilogy, but I love them all. I mean, it's like a 10, then a 9.5, and a 9. They're all just neck and neck for me. So yeah.
But Richie, what are your thoughts about Hot Fuzz?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, right.
Hot Fuzz is great. Yeah, great love letter to action movies, especially Die Hard. Yeah, I think Nick, I think Nick Frost has got great. They both got great comedic timing. But Nick Frost is so good in there. His goose.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's just the cavalcade of British talent, British legends in the movie. Again, another comedian I really like. Bill Bailey has a small role. He's the he's like the disgruntled I guess the clerk at the unit where he just goes, no one tells me nothing. Yeah, he's a very talented dude if you look him up. And then just the way how Bronx goes, where it's just like he's not a very good actor.
Yeah.
It's insane, and I would have loved to have seen a sequel to this, but I don't think Edgar Wright's much of a sequel guy, to be honest. But like this is it's just a lot of fun. One of my favorite movies of all time. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones like I'm kind of a few like out of all the like Cornetto trilogy, I would have liked to see like a direct sequel to The World's End. I think that's the one that I think could lend itself to having a sequel more. I love his movies he's done. It's like ones where it's like, yeah, they're pretty much like a complete story from start to finish. Like we don't need a sequel. It's like because I was going to say it with when Jordan mentioned about wanting to see a sequel with Scott Pilgrim's like they don't really need a sequel. It's like it was fine. Like is the way it is.
Well, Scott Pilgrim, I wouldn't mind, but not the Cornetto trilogy.
Apparently, they did flirt with the idea of making a movie called From Dusk Till Dawn. So,
but yeah, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I'm surprised Edgar Wright hasn't tried to find a way to get Simon Pegg and Nick Frost into some of his other movies as well. So, it's just, even if it's just quick cameos, but yeah, no, I think Hot Fuzz is really good. But once again, very similar to Shaun of the Dead. It's like it's kind of a parody of a movie, but not really. It's more of a lovely to this kind of action buddy cop kind of thing. It's definitely one of those ones where because I've seen a lot of people sort of put them in lists of parody movies. I look at it like I don't know if it's really a parody movie per se. I get why you think that, but I don't know if it's meant to be. If that makes any sense. But yeah, just when they're all just calling him Angu and all that, I think is just really good. But yeah, Hot Fuzz it's easily number one because the greater good.
But Malcolm, I have to ask you just real quick: have you ever fired two guns while it's jumping through the air before?
I'll neither confirm
or
not.
Or have you ever fired two guns while going yeah?
Gary, what are your thoughts about Hot Fuzz?
Yeah, this is an incredible movie. It's hilarious from start to finish. And like the action is phenomenal. The mystery is fantastic. Like it really does keep you engaged the whole time. And then the story, like the friendship that develops between Nicholas Angel and Nick Frost's character is just it's fantastic and it's so well done. So even though I personally had Shaun of the Dead as my number one, like having this as number one for the ranking, I think is equally as good.
And Chad, what are your thoughts about Hot Fuzz?
Carrie, you ain't seen Bad Boys 2. Hot Fuzz is like so perfect. Like, you know, any one of the Cornetto trilogies being number one, I would have said yes for sure. Just because I think, I mean, even when you like looked at Frost and Pegg doing that movie Paul, you really need the 3-person team there to make a perfect movie like the ones that in the Cornetto trilogy. And this one, you know, it's like the second one, and it's, you know, you could argue that it's bigger and better. You know, it is, you know, not a parody, it's not a spoof, but it's like more of like an homage to, so many great action movies that they've seen. But it's not just action; it's also kind of a slasher movie. It's got a big slasher mystery in there, like who's killing all these people and for what reason. And it also kind of mimics The Wicker Man and stuff like Midsommar in a way, where it's like this town that is deciding that you have people who are undesirables, and those are the ones that should go away because we're trying to win this award, god damn it. This movie is so fun. I mean, in Shaun of the Dead, Frost and Peg are both kind of dumb, and they're both trying to figure stuff out. And this, you got a straight-laced guy and a dumb guy in The World's End. They kind of flip it, and I love like that dynamic that they do, and how they both kind of grow in a way. And one person kind of like the goofy one, and kind of shows the other one who's too straight-laced how to relax, how to turn it off, and how to not be and they kind of work together in a way to solve the mystery and help fix the town for the better. And I just think it's everything that they do in the movie, just his editing style is used in such a great way in this. I mean, when you got like the action showdowns and how they talk about saying doing something really cool and then saying a line after. It's like, did you say like what was like goes in the fridge? Did you say freeze or something like that? It's like, no, I didn't say nothing. Shame.
It reminds me of like 21, 22 Jump Street.
Exactly.
Say something cool. Something cool.
Oh, be cool. That's right.
Yeah.
And then you got like even the priest is on it, like jumping out, like firing guns and stuff. It's such an off the wall, kind of movie, and everything works, so well in it, that I really just want to pop this one on right now and watch it. But, I love most of these movies, and I'm glad that this is number one because it's just such an incredible action film. So,
so if that is the end of the recap of the movies that of the ranking. At number 8, we've got The Running Man. At the 7, we've got Sparks Brothers. At number 6, we've got Baby Driver. At 5, we've got Last Night in Soho. At 4, we've got The World's End. At 3, we've got Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. At number 2, we've got Shaun of the Dead. And number 1 is Hot Fuzz. But that ends the ranking for this week. Next week, the winner of the poll, unfortunately for the Lonely Marks, who really wanted Tom Felton movies, it didn't win the poll. It is going to be Mark. It is going to be Mark Wahlberg movies.
What are you talking about? Did I vote for that? Yeah, I did. Oh, yeah, I totally did. Didn't I?
What a shame.
But it's going to be Mark Wahlberg movies next week. It should be a lot of fun. He's definitely got an interesting filmography, to say the least. Kira, where can people find you online?
I am at Welcome to Primetime with Chad and Hunter Chambers. We do horror stuff occasionally whenever we get around to it. So you can find me there.
But Chad, where can people find you online?
Similar. You can find me there. You can find me at my channel, Cinema Chad, doing a bunch of stuff over there with rankings and stuff like that. So check those out, and rank them is fun, and I love being on and ranking. Keep ranking shit, and I love ranking shit.
But Jordan, where can people find you online?
You can find us over at the Movie Hero Network group, Movie Network on Facebook. On YouTube. We do have a Facebook group. I was just looking at something for the group online, but on YouTube we do all kinds of tournaments. We do tier rankers. We do stuff like that. We're actually doing right after this. If you tune in, we're doing a recast of the movie Rocky. So because it's kind of like Thanksgiving adjacent. So then about an hour and a half from now, we'll be doing that on the channel. So come check that out. And then you want to find out more about what we got going on, just go to the Facebook group. You can see it over there, or you can go to patreon.com/movie here if you want to support us. We appreciate that, and you can see an extended look at the schedule, get first dibs on being on because our channel thrives from having a lot of guests on, and we're always open to like suggestion. We want to do the things you guys want to see over there, so yeah, just check all that out. So yeah.
Richie, we can find you online.
Not sure about Zach Shelton's suggestion of Paulie Shore as Rocky, but hey, you might have a good argument.
Yeah, right. It's a little weird one.
But yeah, you can find me on Wheel of Movies every other Thursday with Awesome Test Hal. We are actually going to be talking about Rocky next time, so as luck would have it. And then the next one after that, we do Christmas episode. We're going to talk about Jingle All the Way. I think there's a lot to talk about that. And yeah, you can find me on Why We Love Horror as well coming up. Actually, the team's match, me and Matt, we're going to be facing Kerry and Chad and our team. So yeah, that should be fun. And yeah, Lonely Marks talking. I think we're going to confirm, but we might be going tomorrow night. But we'll let you know. You'll find out soon. Because of Thanksgiving, going a bit earlier. We're talking about AEW Full Gear, and also and a little bit of news if there was any. And yeah, other than that, I don't know. If you're in the Brisbane area and you want to catch me do comedy, if you like that kind of thing, go do that.
Yeah, and also I'm just gonna throw in that I started making a crossover for Scott Pilgrim versus the World's End, but it made some of the faces look a little wrong, so I'm gonna fix it in Photoshop and then maybe post it to the group. So you'll have that in a bit.
But yeah, you can find me on Tape Productions hosting Rankum every week. Next week is going to be Mark Wahlberg movies. You can also find me on my personal YouTube channel, Malcolm's Middle-earth Media, where I have host beef from the past. Tomorrow, I'm actually going to have JPO on. It was supposed to be last week, but then things happened that kind of got it delayed a little bit. But we'll be talking about TNA Hard Justice from 2008, which should be a lot of fun. And you can find me popping up here and there on the Movie Hero Network. Probably won't see me for a bit. I think next time I'll be the next letter series, which is in about a few weeks away.
Yeah, it's in like 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but until next time, we'll see you. And keep ranking shit. Fine.